So we woke up today before turning on an ad. We woke up, stretched, look at our phone, made $14,000 already. What's our MER when you spend $1 and make $14,000? It's like 14 million MER. Cool. So now we get to start to spend.
Infinity.
Exactly. The level that we spend that day takes that 1 million MER and drops it all the way down to 1.85. Because we are starting with more revenue and with our subscribers, it means we can afford to spend more because we have more money that we pre-made that day. Your revenue that is growing is continuously growing, allowing you to have higher and higher MER by not doing anything. And then that allows you to have a 37K in spend and make 150. Yep, we are going to go through the document that we use to manage most clients and also our own internal companies. And it's actually it's exciting. It's a really, really nice document. It is something that everyone should be able to understand, at least from a metric point of view, like what we're counting and why. And yeah, I think that we're going to have some good insights, a lot of learning opportunity today. And when I say, phrases like, in-platform metrics doesn't matter, like this is something that covers that. And that's what we're going to be even discussing as to like, why would I make that statement? Because that is a very controversial statement. It is contrarian to why you even do digital marketing. Like, well, we only do digital marketing because we can track everything. And and while yes, what you track matters. That part is extremely important. So I think that that's something that we'll be able to kind of dive deep into today.
Yeah. And you refer to it as the Adflow Funnel. Is that the name of it, or is there a different name?
No, we call it the Adflow Funnel, just as I don't know if we really had like a name to call it before.
Kind of like that spreadsheet thingy. Yeah.
I actually am not I'm not a great marketer. I'm really good at traffic driving and data analytics, but what to call it, I don't know.
By the way, you did actually name our tag phrase for marketing, by the way. Metrics that matter, growth that scales. That came from you.
That's true. Yeah. And do you know where that came from?
I know. The old friend, the chat.
Yes, sir. Me and Grok are like this.
Yeah, that's good.
I've been using Grok actually a lot more for creative, and it's cool. Grok does like role play for fun, and not the weird role play for all you sickos out there. The role play is more from like, you're my creative director. This is my website. I need you to do, and it'll be like, okay, here's what I think, and here's the target demographic, and here's the ads, and here's the hooks, and here's the offers, it'll do a whole marketing plan for you to build off of. Please, for the love of God, do not copy paste that, send to your boss. You should be fired. Right. But it helps you on the right track. And it does allow the creative heavy lifting for you.
Well, let's get into it. Obviously, drop your comments and questions in the chat there. We'll get to those hopefully at the top of the hour if we stay on track here.
This is what we call the Adflow Funnel document. What this is actually tracking is all of our marketing spend and all of the ways that people can purchase from us through email, through our website, through Amazon, through our subscription model. All of that, basically all the cash in and all the cash out is identified in this document, tracked against a top line metric, and measured week over week.
Great.
So what we'll see here is we have history back to July 21st of 2024, all the way to August 10th, which is the week before last, because we haven't updated for last week just yet. But this is the document here. This is all of last week. And what we look at are identifying kind of like MMM trends and patterns. And what MMM trends and patterns is a multimedia mix modeling. Multimedia is one word, multimedia mix modeling, which is how much money are we spending on what channel? Yep. And we actually don't even include that here. This is all of our spend across all channels. So it just is a total top line spend. And what we then do is break down underneath, like the stuff that is happening on Amazon versus what is happening through Recharge, what's happening on Shopify. We actually don't care what channel it is spent on, because what we're looking at is in our optimization, we say, okay, I think we should use Meta and Google, and we should spend, X amount more dollars this week. And then if we do both, we then analyze what happens. And if we then take away one channel or we start to reduce on another channel because we see in platform those metrics look worse, that is a early indicator that maybe that channel is not working well. So that's where we'd like to pull back. So the in platform isn't this is what happened. The in platform is this is where we're spending the money. And if those in-platform metrics do not look directionally accurate, then we look at the top line and say, yes, that did help, or yes, it did hurt. Mm-hmm. So what we look at, and I'll kind of go through a more recent example. We have actually gone from the 25th week of this month, which is June 15th, and we have gone through August 10th of 2025. So about 2 months time period here, 8 weeks. So we got 4 weeks here, 5 weeks there, plus last week. So 9 weeks, basically, we're looking at month over month.
Yep.
So, and we can even just take like these time periods here. Now, the reason why I'm highlighting these time periods here is because when you're not tracking all of your metrics, you're going to get thrown off by metrics that are minuscule and may not tell you the full story. For an example, you see here CPA.
Yeah.
CPA is simply just the cost per acquisition. And this is all spend and divided by all sales. Very, very simple. Right? So what we're looking at, and this is why I love this fact, because this actually, these metrics mimic what Google and mimic what Meta does, which is if I have existing customers mixed in with my new customers, that is all here. So as we take our spend from 37,000 and get 2,100 and go up to 100,000 and get 2,500, you say, John, you went from 30K to 100K. So you added $70,000, which is actually more than a 2x in your spend. 30 times 2 is 60. So more than 2 times.
Yeah.
But your sales didn't go from 2,100 to 4,200. That isn't working. That's typically what we hear.
Yes.
You spend more, and you double the spend. Why didn't the revenue double? Now,
right.
And that is also looking at here. That is your CPA. Yes, our CPA on the 25th week of the year was at 18 when we're spending 37,000. Now, when we went up to 102,000, your CPA went to 40. Doubled. So you mean you tripled your spend and doubled your CPA? That's true. We did. We went from an $18 CPA to a 21 to 30 to 35 to 36 to 39 to 40. Oh, it's getting worse. Look, it just keeps getting worse as you go from 30 grand to 40 grand to 60 grand to 80 grand to 90 grand. Nothing's working is typically what people hear. Every dollar you put in, your CPA goes up. Nothing may be happening. That's because we're blending everything together. That is the area that most marketers and most businesses are in today. I add X percent in spend. I should see X percent in sales.
Right.
Maybe. Maybe not. Do you have subscribers? We do. So those people are unaffected. The existing customers will not grow.
Yep.
We can only grow new. So when we look at this and say, okay, now here's the other portion of this story is, yes, we did go from 37. I'll just do these time periods here. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll just do 2 months. We went from 30 grand to 98 or 37 to 98. Let's call it 30 to 100 or 40 to 100. Okay. So we more than doubled our budget. Yep. Let's look at the metrics that matter. Hey, look at that. That is our cost per acquired first-time customer. So what you'll see is I've highlighted in the area here. These are the weeks that I've highlighted, and this is the cost per acquired first-time customer. Yep. So I can then say at 30 grand, we paid $250 for cost of acquired new customer, which is this column right. Come on, you little bastard. There you go. That's the column right here. Yep. So this is the column I want to take a focus on. So it went from 250, and then where did we end?
238.
So we're $12 cheaper for a new customer. That seems good. If I could triple my spend and buy the same amount of new customers at the same cost, that's a free customer to us. So now the question is, we didn't double our spend and double our CPA. We doubled our spend and doubled our new customers at the same cost. And we were happy with the cost at 250. We're happy with anything under 300. So if our $300 NCAC target or ceiling, not target, ceiling, target should be like $1, but our NCAC ceiling, which we cannot bounce, we can't blow through. We can bounce off, but we cannot blow through. If we go above 300, we're not profitable. So now the question went from you doubled your spend, you doubled your CPA. But the truth is I doubled my spend, I doubled my new customers at profit. So the question you normally would be asking inside of a meeting with a digital ad agency is, we got to reduce spend. It's not working. The questions we're having to us now is, how many more free customers do we want? There's a big paradigm shift. You want 1 million more free customers? Sure. We're on track to get there. Versus if we're looking at CPA or in platform metrics, it's not working. So that's why measuring what is working well matters. Now, watch this. Media efficiency ratio. We have ceilings and targets on our media efficiency ratio. And we have them in two different ways.
Right.
One is our media efficiency ratio for the company. That is hard to see. Just make it do black. Maybe that'll work better.
Goes from 2.12 to about 1.83.
Yeah. So, okay, there we go. Yep. So our media efficiency ratio here is at a 4x, and it went down to a 1.91 during these date ranges. Now that again looks really terrible. MER is dropping when you add in ad spend, unless you have a fixed group of users called subscribers that will always pay you the same amount of money every day, whether you shut off your ads or not. So those people
hopefully
are always
if your product is good.
Right.
we're assuming that, but anyway, as we said before, that is not necessarily the case, but it is the case.
Exactly. And it's a lot of case for a lot of subscribers. Like if you have a subscription service, you're not like, I didn't see 3 ads today, I'm canceling that bitch. That doesn't happen that way. You're going to get the products that you need. Well,
we did work on a customer that their client retention was 2 months. Do you remember that one?
Oh yeah.
In the supplement space. So
now that's a business problem, not a traffic problem.
Not a John Moran problem. That is, you need to reformulate your stuff.
You fix that before you go from 30K in spend to 100K in spend.
I'm just stating the obvious. Yes. I like to state the obvious, but people forget that part. Anyway, keep going. I love it.
Exactly. So we measure them differently. We have a 408 media efficiency ratio with subscribers, but if we do not count those subscribers, we count how our ads are performing outside of the people who are normally paying us money anyway. That's actually here. And look at the delta between the two. With subscribers, we're over a 4. Without subscribers, we're 2.5. Now we have a target or a ceiling. I guess I would say a floor in this sense. MER, we have a floor. We can bounce off the floor. We cannot blow through the floor. Because if we go past our NCAC, we're going to blow through our floor. Those two are inversely related.
Right.
So as we scale up,
and our floor here for MER is what again?
I'll explain that. Yep.
Oh, you're building up to something.
I'm okay. It's getting exciting. As we add in ad spend, as we add in ad spend, we're going to say our MER can't go below 1.5, and our MER less subs can't go below a 1. That's where our happy zone is. That if it goes below those, it's cap call time. It's capital investment into the company to make up revenue that we didn't make. Yep. So we see here that we are able to stop at a 1.91 or a 1.84 and a 1.3 or 1.34. So we stopped there. So we're at 100K per week in spend, and we're still profitable, and we're still stacking on new customers. Well, how many new customers? That's what we can see here in the Adflow funnels. Is we can see that our new customers, each time that we have a new customer here, where is our new customer? Oh, wait, I think we actually took that one out. It used to be right here. We actually took that one out. We are rebuilding that. The sales new customers is here now. So this is the area that the new customers are in. So let me recorrelate that to the top line. My apologies. I lost my place for a minute. And there we go. These areas here during that part, we see new customers going from 144 up to actually, let me just draw on the map or draw on the screen because I don't know if it's really easy for everyone to see. We're looking at these metrics here. Yep. So as our spend goes up, we already know left to right, 30 to 100K. Our new customers are going from 144 up to 166, up to 266, up to 341, up to 438, up to 436. Beautiful. Yeah. So we went from getting 150 new customers each week to 436 new customers each week.
Yeah.
Now, with a subscription model or without a subscription model or even with a lead generation model, this all is the same. It's all exactly the same. There do have different targets, but it's exactly the same. I get, let's say cost per new lead, cost per new deal. Cost per new deal is what? A cost per new customer. Yay. It doesn't matter. E-commerce or lead gen does not matter. You can still use this for every single business. Yeah. What's nice about this is as we buy 436 new customers per week and we kind of hold 400 customers a week and we're reaching stasis there, we can see that up at the top, as we hold our ad spend between 96, 98, 98, and 102, our new customers are still coming in at 436, 400, 407, 422. Beautiful. and at a cost we can't afford at 238, 244, 219. Beautiful. We're in the money essentially.
Yes.
Now, last thing I want to share before I pause is the reason why it's amazing to track this is there was a time recently in the past, and we're going to go to last year, where we attempted to do this again, and we actually faltered and failed, and we blew through what we call our floors. And our floor back then, when we were scaling up, you can see here that we hit that 1.5, and we stuck there. So we were going from basically a 50K in spend up to 100K in spend in this date range of November to December. Same scale, going from 40 to 100, going to 50 to 100. Now, we went from 50 to 100 and went from a 2 to a 1.5. So how come we could, back then, we couldn't scale? I couldn't go from 50 to 100 without hitting that floor and bouncing off of it. But attempting that same scale again, 6 months, 7 months later, we were able to go from 30 to 100, and we're at a 4 down to 1.85. We're still 35 basis points above where our floor would be. Why? Well, it's because it's our MER. We've stacked new customers since then. Since back 6 months ago, we've been stacking new customers every single week that turn into subscribers, that turn into top line revenue that we don't have to market for or try for or even pay. Keyword, do not pay for your existing subscribers over and over again. Standard purchase events, Meta, Google, Advantage Plus, and PMAX. So because we're not counting and we're not paying against those people, as our existing customers rise, our fixed revenue per day rises. What that looks like is this. If we look at our marketing, they're not marketing. Oh no, I think it's gonna reset. It might just keep bouncing around. So if this thing keeps resetting, no, we're good. So we woke up today before turning on an ad. We woke up, stretched, look at our phone, and we made $14,000 already. What's our MER when you spend $1 and make $14,000? It's like 14 million MER. Right. Cool. So now we get to start to spend, and the level that we spend that day takes that 1 million MER and drops it all the way down to 1.85. Because we are starting with more revenue and with our subscribers, it means we can afford to spend more because we have more money that we pre-made that day. Your revenue that is growing is continuously growing, allowing you to have higher and higher MER by not doing anything. And then that allows you to have a 37K in spend and make 150. Back then when we had 30K in spend, or 50K in spend, we had 94. So it went from 50 to 94. And now we're looking at 30 and 150. Well, where did that additional 60 grand come from? Our subscribers. Each week, 7 days, $10,000 a day times 7 days, 70 grand. That week, we're 70K higher in revenue even before we spend $1. So this technically can look at $1 and $70,000 here. That's what that technically could look at that day of the start of that week. Right. So now our MER is 70,000. So we start with a 70,000 MER, we add in some ad spend, and we tack on more new customers that push up that MER ratio, that push the top line up. And look at that, our MER is holding. So we're up leveling ourselves each row. Now, could you do that with CPA? Shit, no. CPA is not going to tell you that. People that are focusing on CPA and ROAS are looking at one level of this entire document. And this is where it's like, well, my ROAS, it's like, yes, but what about the other, I don't know how many more lines are in this thing? What about the other 234 lines of data? Like, what does that say? Right. It's so important to understand the complexity of your company like a CFO, because if you're going to make ad spend dollar decisions, you need to make ad spend dollar relations. We have to understand how it's correlated. And you have to understand your targets, your ceilings, your floors. And as you can up level yourself, people are like, well, you have big campaigns and you're scaling up, $60,000. Yes, but I've done the work to know that I could do that without stressing. I can go to sleep at night with another 70K in spend knowing I'm perfect. Like, we are happy, healthy, we're good.